Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Tennis is a very difficult sport. I would probably argue that it's the most difficult sport. Would you agree with me?
It's up there.
Yeah, stay tuned. Guys, are you a racket stringer? Do you want to make a little extra cash? Because there's people in your neighborhood looking for string jobs. You need to join Direct Tennis. Direct Tennis is your one-stop shop for all your tennis needs. And if you are a stringer, you need to join their global network. For $2.99, you can be part of Direct Tennis. Click on the link below and get your stringing going. All right, so all of us in the tennis world, we play tennis as kind of exercise and second nature. We take a racket, we hit a ball, and we don't think anything of it. People watch it on television and say, hey, that's easy, and I could do that. I'm an advanced beginner without picking up a tennis racket. But have you ever thought of how hard the game really, really is, though? Because a little green ball is traveling at least 30 to 100 miles an hour when struck. Coming towards you, you have a tennis racket that is 100 square inches and that weighs less than a pound with strings on it, and you are expected to strike it
In the sweet spot.
somewhere in the sweet spot and get it back over a net and in a court within one bounce. So unless there's some cooperation here with the other person, you're probably not holding a rally. But let's break that down a little bit here. What are the physical attributes that we need to play the game?
You need some eye-hand coordination. You need some athleticism. You need the ability to have some flexibility, to have strength, stamina. Those are a few.
Right. So we have to actually read, right? Read, like, where's the ball going?
Well, is it a forehand or a backhand? Is usually your first read.
Right.
Then you have to decide how it's going to bounce.
Right.
Is it coming over the net high where it's going to bounce high and
Right.
you may have to back up? Is it coming over low where you have to move up? That's usually more easily recognizable because you only got one bounce.
Correct.
Backing up on the higher ball tends to be a little more challenging.
So before
Obviously, reverse is harder than going forward. So
correct. So we need to read, recognize, and then
read, react, and run.
Right. So all that takes decision making. We have to decide forehand or backhand, especially when it's coming right at you. Most people are going to just forehand because that's what we default to. Now, once we decide, what happens? We have to, again, do the same thing to figure out where the ball is bouncing. Am I going to get there? How am I going to get there? Before I pull my racket back, hopefully you already have your racket back, and then you do the same thing with the timing part of it. So technique now comes into play. Like, what is your technique? Are you going to slap at it? Are you actually going to strike it with your full force?
Are you stroking the ball?
Right. So,
or swatting at the ball?
Right. So that's the thing. Like, so we've gone through a list of already reading, reacting, moving, deciding already, and now we're doing the same thing as to wherever the ball may lay. You guys never thought about this, have you? Like, we're really breaking it down as to like what a person goes through. And we're only talking about one shot here, not like a 10 or 20 ball rally. Back to more decision making. Now, the word intent now and intention. Once you've decided all these things, where are you going to strike it now? What is your intent? Are you going to go cross court? Are you going to go back down the middle? Are you going down the line, or are you just trying to just strike the ball?
There's a lot of that gets very complicated with a very short period of time,
right,
that you have to make that decision.
Exactly.
But most of the time, you get a ball hit cross court, you're going to hit it back cross court, the net's lower in the middle, the court's longer on the diagonal, so you have a higher percentage than you do if you were trying to hit it down the line, because the court's shorter, the net's higher.
Right.
So as it evolves, as you play, you kind of either learn from doing it, learn from watching it, learn from lessons or experience.
Right. From my own experience, if it comes to my forehand, I try to hit it back to the other person's forehand. And I try to get it to that person in one bounce.
And this is trying to be cooperative.
Correct.
We're not competing here, so we're not worrying about keeping score. We're trying to rally.
Correct.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. So that's the thing is, I had a game plan, or I have a game plan, and my game plan is to keep a rally going. So I made the decision to do that. And every time the ball comes, that is my intent, is to get it right back to that person's forehand. So that takes a lot
What if
of...
they were left-handed and you're right-handed?
They're going cross-court anyways. Because that's my intent, is I'm going cross-court.
Hit it so they can hit it back to you.
Correct. Until until we play a game, let's say, or we play a set, or we play a rally thing that requires us to maybe win a point. Whatever.
Once you start keeping score.
Exactly. So that's why we're breaking it down, in that making it easier for you guys, so that it takes the guesswork out of getting on the court. And then what do? I hit it everywhere. Okay. So I'm trying to basically teach you guys that tennis isn't easy, but you can make it easy for yourself and your opponent, depending upon what you want to do.
I think the other thing that needs to be said, it takes a long time.
Oh, yeah.
It's not, we're in the technology world age where everything, you get it right now.
Right.
You want to order lunch, you can DoorDash it and have it show up, or whatever service you use, and boom, it's here.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do anything.
Tennis is not that way.
You have to have patience and enjoy the process of working at it, because it's a game of failure. You're going to miss a lot, and it's not a spelling test or something where you're going to get them all right.
This is true, because nobody's perfected the game. No one gets 100%, right?
Best players in the world lose.
Best players,
Points, games, sets, matches.
Best players in the world lose 49% of the time. I think I saw a stat on
Didn't
that.
Federer say something?
Yeah.
That he won like 53% of the points he played.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you kind of have to have a mind that basically forgets. So this is how we make the game a little easier for everybody, is early. As a coach, we always say prepare early, right? Therefore, the split decisions don't have to be made so late. Therefore, you're taking the ball late into your stroke. So I feel like I'm like a quarterback coach, right? Read and react. You got 3 seconds, right? You
Before
see
you
what's
get drilled.
Mm-hmm. So imagine a quarterback out there, right? You snap the ball. You got 3 seconds to get rid of that ball. So you got 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 out here on the running back side. It's like 1, you got 1 second to look at 1, covered, 2, covered, 3, covered. Take off or get rid of it, or hit the running back over here. It's the same thing. Ball's coming. Forehand, turn, right? And then you got, I'd say, a second. You got even less than 3 seconds before
Try
that
to be
ball.
ready before the ball bounces on your side.
Right, right. Make it easy for yourself. The ball and the game is now faster. So intent, okay? I keep emphasizing the word intent. Make sure you know what you're doing. Don't worry about the opponent. The opponent can have a big fat windup and then hit the ball, and then you're like, oh, I'm watching the guy, the ball's already here. So, but focus and make sure you know what you're doing and how you're doing it, okay? Because tennis is difficult, guys. I mean, what's up there with tennis as a game that's as difficult? Basketball, I could say, is one.
I'm always impressed by hockey.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have skating,
Right,
forwards and backwards.
right,
Those guys are flying in reverse.
right.
They have a puck,
Yeah,
stick,
a goalie.
a goalie, a goal. They're getting drilled into the boards. They're getting blown up if they, keep their head down. That's why they say skate with your head up.
Right.
That's always impressive as a sport. Soccer, you have the ball on your foot for a second, and boom, you need to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Every sport is challenging
Right.
to get to a high level. So find hopefully that tennis is something that you have patience and want to enjoy, and you can play a lifetime of it.
You brought up a great point. Hockey. Imagine skating and then.
And I can't skate very well. I can hold the rail and make myself around the rink, but.
But imagine skating, holding a stick with all the gear on, a helmet, and then a goalie that's in front of you, and then you literally have a target of about that big to make it in. So you basically have to hit that slap shot as hard as you can and be as precise as you can. Imagine playing tennis and saying, you have this target to hit through all the time. After you've skated down,
right.
You have to hit the
And
hole.
you look at baseball. How hard is it to hit a baseball? I mean, it's coming fast. You got guys throwing over 100 miles an hour. You got guys who can make it move left, right, up, down.
Right.
And it's there like that.
Right. Exactly.
That's
why they're professionals.
Right.
But guys, just want to reiterate, tennis isn't easy. If you're playing it, prepare and obviously have fun. Okay? So, Coach Rob, thank you for doing this video with me.
Sure.
I just wanted to break down the game to you because, I've always thought that, tennis is a sport and it's fun, but it's not easy. All right? Guys, thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.